Hello everyone, it's Robert at the Sampleist, and today we'll be checking out the Hang, Ethereal Hang Drum by Insanity Samples. The Hang is meant to be an ethereal and mesmerizing instrument. What makes this stand out from other hang drum libraries is that they deconstructed the upper harmonics of the instrument and the fundamentals, and reworked the notes to give the library a new harmonic structure that is pure to the notes, making it a true chromatic instrument. The Hang was recorded with a stereo set of condensers and a close dynamic mic, and uses their very organic and lifelike playing engine. The Hang is currently on an introductory sale for $57 US, with the original price being $113 US. The installed size of all the files is 1.74 gigs and requires the full version of Contact 5 or higher. In this video, we'll be going through some of the presets of the Hang, do an overview of the library, and a composition where we'll hear this ethereal library in context. A big shout out, by the way, to Insanity Samples for letting us check out the Hang at no charge. Even so, you're in no way influencing my thoughts and opinions on this video. With all that said, let's get going. Alright, so we have the Hang open right now, and it's the fingers patch. And this is how it looks right out the box, but for the sake of going through the different articulations, what we'll be doing, I wanted to go over these over here, this range, and in this range here too. So what happens here, this is going to be different than what we hear in the other articulations. So from here, you'll hear a sweeping sound, so like just sweeping on the hang drum. And then here are different types of strikes going on the, I would think like the side or something of the drum itself. Or at least this would be more actually, it's more muted. Really nice different types of strikes here. But then you have this region right here, which I really enjoy. Really nice flurries. It's very meditative. But yeah, different types of strikes in this range, sweeping over here, and beautiful, beautiful flourishes over here. So now we can go to all these articulations here, maybe play around with mic positions, or I should say the microphones themselves, as we have the dynamic mic and the two condensers. And then we'll play around with the forward as we will hear, but then the reverse. And something to consider here is this hang drum library is very different than what you're used to with hang drums, in that they modeled the sound of the drum. So that way, as it goes through the keyboard range, which is a very wide range here, they made sure that if they had to pitch notes in order to go through it all chromatically, they made sure that it was modeled in a way that the harmonics fit. It's been adjusted so it's beautiful, it's rich, it's very cinematic. So that's the end of my ramble here. Let's get right into it. I had to go back to the longs more because I did not play that really low note there. And as you hear, usually when you hear a note, you'll hear some of the harmonics, and it's still so rich and vibrant. And these lows are my favorite part of this library, in that I like low notes. I like using low notes in various ways, whether it's in trailer music, game music, film music. Low notes are, for me, a big component in writing, in that it serves as a nice base. And the richness of this shows me that this library can be used for so many applications, as you'll hear in the composition. So let's keep going and go to the doubles. So you really hear that really rich sound as I go through everything. The fifth harmonics to me sound so cool. I would love to put something like that through Black Hole and make a really beautiful sounding ping sound, or just a nice bell sound as like an ornament to a really cool, maybe sci-fi type of scene and whatnot. Another one thing that I did not go over here before I play around turning off the condensers and going to the dynamic would be this over here. So let's hear what happens when I get rid of the note and the aux. So you hear a real difference in the sound. When the aux is down, you hear less of what seems to be the attack. But if you get rid of the note, you get more of just the attack. And either one could be really cool for different types of settings. So keep that in mind. So that does it for this path. Now let's check out the mallets. Or first, better yet, let's do keep saying mic position, I mean the mics themselves. So let's just hear how it just sounds with the condenser here. So I really like how each sound on their own. If I needed a particular sound, I could see why I would want just the dynamic mic, or if I just want the condensers and whatnot. Altogether, it has a really nice sound to it, more well-rounded. So now let's check out the mallets. A lot of cool sounds coming here. I really like how the flourishes sound on the mallet. Um, and the reverses sound really sweet too. So let's keep going. Now let's hear how the microphones sound. Again, here, nice different types of sounds based on the different mics that I choose here. I really like each on their own, and I really like them together. So yeah, that really does it here. There's a lot of cool stuff happening here. I have to say, like, it's a really great library. It's just these two patches, yet there is a world of possibilities just from the articulations themselves. And then the performance aspect here, when you have that too, being able to change from one to the other, it opens up a world of possibilities. Like here, I'll play a little bit. That adds a whole other world. Having these the performance, I should call it the performance matrix. Having that on and having that overlapping, so you can go through different articulations just like that, so seamlessly. It really makes it seem like you're at a performance, you're listening to someone play just the hang drum and using different techniques to make it just sound beautiful. I really like this library. So that does it for this section. We'll go to the UI next. All right, so for the UI, it's the typical setup for Insanity samples. And like I said before, this matrix over here just leads to so much human-like playing, so organic, lifelike. Just going through. Just so nice how it just goes through the different velocities. You can adjust it just by clicking these over here, but also you need to have the overlapping feature on. If not, you can have the key switching on and just have the different key switches that are up here decide what articulation you'd want to play. However, if you have this on, you could only have one selected. And as you saw before, we have our performance choices over here, our little presets. And then over here, we have our forward. So it's just as is. So here we have the reverse, where instead of hearing how the note will sound, it'll just have the note in reverse. And something I just learned is we go to the mixer here, which has our mic positions. It won't play anything if it's only on the dynamic mic. So for this, you want to have the condensers. Over here are our faders for the note itself, like the resonance, and then here, more like the attack, that front of the note. And I also like how we have our different key switches over here. It says which key switch it is. We have our map over here. So if this doesn't show the colors, which can happen from time to time, you'll be able to see where the notes lie over here. And I like how it's all nicely color coded and matches. Really pretty. We have our dynamics over here, which should be, yep, it is assigned to the mod wheel. You can change it however you'd like. We've already seen this, which is the mixer. our two condensers, and our dynamic mic down the middle. Our effects, so we have our stereo spread. We'd like that on. The delay and our reverb with the various choices. And now for something here that's just really cool. So this is our poly step. And you can really have so much fun with this. Like, this is really cool. You can have, well, the blank notes aren't going to have much happening as opposed to what's going to happen here. This is going to be the root if they're empty, but if you change this, then you will change the range of the note being played. Let's just do that. And turn it on. So this is at 4 semitones. Now up to 12 semitones or half notes. Then if it's just empty, then it just plays the pitch that you play, as you've heard. But over here is our velocity, which will adjust the velocity per step. Very helpful. You can change the rate, you could change the duration of the step length, I should say, and then you can adjust the swing. You also have presets. You have 2 here, and then you can make your own. Something cool for me, the fact that I could really hold it and hear how it's sounding and mess around. Things like that make me happy, seeing cool ideas like this. And then you have your ARP right here, which is something I like to use a lot. And so let me just play a note here and see what we have. Adjust it. So the rate is slower now. We could change the direct, we can add more octave movement. And it's reaching this over here, which is the sliding sound, which is cool. Or we can go lower. So let's just hold it. And what we could do is change the direction. I really dig how this is sounding. So what I just did here was I put 2 strikes per note being played. And we can just keep adding. I think that's really cool. You can make a nice, cool arpeggiator that's just round and nice sounding in this case because of the mallets, and just have it in the background of something kind of tense. I really like that. You can also change the duration of the steps and the swing. Also change the amount, well, I should say the length of the steps here for the arpeggiator. So we have 16 right now, 16 step. Direction, as I said before. And that's pretty much it. There's not anything complicated in this library. It's very straightforward, very easy to figure out. And the possibilities with what you can do with this library are, to me, crazy, insane, awesome. As you'll hear in the composition, I took this and I tried to bring out that somberness, that etherealness of the library at first, and then brought it into a dark world. Dark, crazy, epic, insane, tense. And this library was able to deliver in that sense. So I hope you like the composition, which is up next. My final thoughts on the hang is that it was incredibly surprising. I don't really think about using hang drums for a lot of different applications, really. But when I first heard one of the demo videos by Insanity Samples, I thought, whoa. And then after trying it, I am sold on the thought that this is a great instrument to have for so many different cinematic features, different games, different genres in general. I think this library can work in so many ways, especially since I could easily put it through things like Guitar Rig and other things to make it go on another plane outside of just a normal hang drum. And I really like how those harmonics were tweaked to make it be workable in that way. So yeah, that does it for this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the Sampleist and say what you think about the library below in the comments, how you would use it, what features you like and whatnot. So yeah, that's it. Happy writing, everyone.